Ciao guys, welcome to Surfing Studio. Now we are going to read some articles related to technology, the news which we saw today. Let's start with the first one. First one is an article from Mobile Syrup about Apple's 2022 iPhone, which will reportedly feature telephoto cameras. It will have a periscopic lens. So right now, like iPhone 11 Pro has 2x optical zoom. This will have like 10x or something optical zoom. So this news comes from a rumor or leak from a analyst, pretty reliable analyst called Ming Chi Ku, who is like very reliable in leaking Apple products information. And this periscopic lens will be provided by Semco, South Korean company that is also supplying autofocus models for the 2020 iPhone. And so it will be cool. And this technology we have already seen in like phones from Huawei and Oppo. So it's high time Apple also get it on the iPhones. Actually, the whole zooming thing was started by Apple back in 2016 with the iPhone 7 Plus. But now other companies have come ahead, and iPhone needs to get this periscopic lens as soon as possible. But it's not happening till 2022, and we haven't yet seen 2020 phone. But we are talking about 2022. So take it with a grain of salt, of course. And this article was by Patrico Rourke. Okay, moving on. The other news is from Engadget, and it's by Igor Bonifacic, and it's related to Samsung's Unpacked event, which is happening on August 5th, as you guys must be familiar with. So it's being reported that Samsung will announce 5 devices, not one or two, 5 devices, of which 3 are phones: the Galaxy Note 20, Note 20 Plus, and Note 20 Ultra. And then there is a pair of true wireless headphones called the Galaxy Buds Live, and a new smartwatch in this event. So yeah, it's like pretty near. It's pretty near, like August 5. August 5 is like 2 weeks from now, and so we should be interesting event. And Samsung does have interesting products and interesting events. So looking forward to it. Moving on, other news is also from Samsung, which is from Mobile Syrup, and it's an article by Dean Daly. And basically, it's a leak of Galaxy Note 20 Ultra specs and renders. So as you can see, these are the renders, and this is the camera housing, rear camera housing, pretty similar to the S20 Ultra camera housing. And specs which have been leaked are like Note 20 Ultra will have 108 megapixel camera with laser autofocus and 5 times optical zoom. The device will also reportedly feature a 6.9-inch 2020 Hz display screen that adjusts automatically depending on what you are doing with your device. That feature would be cool, and it will be a killer feature if it can automatically switch between the frequency. It will also save battery, I think. And screen is tipped to be made of Gorilla Glass 7, which is the very first for any handset. And smartphone is also rumored to feature wireless decks. Oh, cool! That will be pretty cool. Wireless decks, which users would be able to connect to an external monitor wirelessly. And in outside of North America, Note 20 Ultra will have Samsung Exynos 990 processor, whereas in Canada and North America it will have Snapdragon 865 plus chipset. It will have 12 GB of RAM, 512 GB of storage, and a 4500 milliampere hour battery. So yeah, these are the renders. Looks pretty cool. Let's see what happens in the actual event in 2 weeks. Anyway, Samsung products are good, so I'm looking forward to it. So moving on, then there is a news from Slack, and this is the news on CNBC by Lauren Fiener. And basically, what happened is Slack has accused Microsoft of anti-competitive practices in EU complaint. So, as many of you would know, that Slack is a communication app used in the business world. So, even I use it. It's a pretty cool app. I use it to do my office work, and mainly startups also use. A lot of startups use. So what happens is, so Microsoft has a competing product called Teams for communication, which is a communication app for messaging and all. So what Microsoft is doing, it's bundling that Teams with its Office suite, which is a pretty powerful suite, powerful product. I mean, everybody uses Office. So if that Teams comes with Office suite, which is such a successful product, nobody would bother to pay for Slack. So as they already have Teams. So that is what Slack is complaining, or the other third-party communication apps. They are facing this problem because Microsoft is really big and everybody uses Windows. There are so many people using Windows, especially in offices, and everybody is using their Office suite. And if the Teams app comes along with the Office suite, there is very little hope for other communication apps to break in to the ecosystem. So that is what Slack is complaining, and it has filed a anti-competitive practices complaint in EU. And this is something similar to what Microsoft did with Internet Explorer back in 90s and 2000s. Like with Windows operating system, it was a default browser or something, and other browsers, Chrome and Firefox and Netscape, they complained about it in EU Commission. And yeah, so Microsoft is pretty big. Let's see how it goes. But let's hope there is some thing for Slack, at least to survive. Otherwise, with the popularity of Microsoft, it's very difficult for Slack to survive if Teams is bundled. Okay, moving on. Then there is one more news from on CNET by Andrew Hall on OnePlus Nord impressions. So basically, yesterday OnePlus Nord was released or launched, showcased, and first impressions are pretty good. It's a pretty good built phone. Build quality is really nice. Screen is really nice, and with the price tag, it's a very good value for money. But the camera is not as good as compared to flagships. What I have read, and I saw some videos online, so that is what I came to know, that camera is not so good, but the phone is very good value for money. It has very top high-end specs as the flagships, but still it does have high-end specs. And so yeah, looking forward to this is a very good buy for somebody looking to buy like budget phone. And then moving on, ASUS, there is one story on mobile syrup by Dean Daly, which is like ASUS has also launched a new ROG Phone 3 with 116 GB of RAM, 144 Hz display, refresh rate, and more. This is a gaming phone. I again saw some videos related to it, and basically it's a good phone, but for gaming audience, and it has a Snapdragon 865 Plus processor, and these are the specs actually. It has 6.59-inch AMOLED, 1080 2350 pixels, 144 Hz refresh rate, 270 Hz touch sampling rate display. Processor is Snapdragon 865 Plus. RAM, there are choices of 12 GB or 16 GB. Storage, 256 GB of storage or 512 GB of storage. Dimensions 171, 78, and 9.5. Weight 240 grams. Operating system Android 10. And there are three rear facing cameras, 64 megapixel, 30 main camera, and 13 megapixel ultra wide camera, 5 megapixel macro camera. Front facing camera is 24 megapixel, and battery is behemoth, 6000 milliampere hour. And so yeah, this is the phone basically aimed at gaming audience. It's a very good phone for gaming. And what I saw in videos and reviews, that camera is not so good. Otherwise, the phone is pretty good, and for especially for playing games. And the battery is really big, and so it will last at least 1 or 2 days easily. So yeah guys, these were the news. Hope you liked it and enjoyed it. Please share my video. Please subscribe to my channel. Thanks a lot. Ciao.